I'm Dr. Amelia Harrington, a pediatrician at St. Mary's Hospital, part of the Royal Medical Institute in London, England. For over a decade, I've treated children with various illnesses, specializing in pediatric infectious diseases and respiratory conditions. But one case from late 2022 lingers in my mind like a shadow, a mystery that shattered my confidence in the drugs we depended on during the COVID-19 pandemic. This isn't just a clinical enigma. It's a tale of rushing ahead of science, blindly trusting unproven treatments, and facing repercussions that challenge everything we believed. In late 2022, England was still battling COVID-19 outbreaks among children. Our hospital had managed countless young patients with an antiviral called Viroclear, which had become the bedrock of our protocols under national health directives. Originally designed for influenza, Viroclear received emergency authorization globally during the crisis and was routinely prescribed for kids with mild to moderate symptoms. We placed our faith in it, perhaps too blindly. I'd administered it to scores of children, committed its dosages to memory, counseled parents on side effects, and seen most recover smoothly. Viroclear inhibited viral replication, a targeted, seemingly harmless mechanism. Its side effects were predictable: minor nausea, temporary dips in white blood cells, or slight uric acid spikes. I thought I had it all figured out. How wrong I was. On a drizzly Wednesday morning in November 2022, a young couple in their late 20s rushed their 6-month-old son Oliver into our pediatric emergency ward. Oliver was a robust baby, born at full term without issues, hitting every milestone and up to date on vaccinations. His parents, first-time guardians, had been vigilant amid the pandemic, steering clear of gatherings and masking up diligently. "Dr. Harrington, we're terrified," his mother whispered, her voice quivering. "He had a slight fever last night. We chalked it up to teething, but this morning he's coughing and seems so listless." I examined Oliver, who was awake but visibly distressed. His temperature hovered at 38.1 degrees, concerning but not critical. His breaths came a tad faster, with hints of nasal congestion. Oxygen saturation held steady at 97%. What struck me were his eyes. A warm, deep brown with golden specks that gleamed under my examination light. They were mesmerizing, almost ethereal, and remarkably focused for an infant. Oliver tracked my every gesture, pivoting toward my voice with keen interest. I jotted down their allure in my notes, oblivious to how they'd soon unravel a nightmare. "Has he been exposed to anyone with COVID-19? I inquired, aware that community spread in London made it probable. "We've been so cautious," his father replied, massaging his forehead. "Only essential outings, always masked, but who knows." I requested a rapid antigen test, and in 15 minutes it confirmed the virus. Drawing from my vast experience, I calmed them. Infants often fared better, and our regimens were reliable. "We'll initiate Viroclear," I assured, outlining the strategy with poise. "It's proven effective for pediatric COVID-19 cases." For Oliver's 7.1 kilo frame, I dosed Viroclear tablets at 80 mg a day for day 1, roughly 570 dami, divided twice, and a syrup, 800 ml or 60 ml at 28 mg a day, about 200 ml daily, for days 2 to 5 per guidelines. I detailed the process, potential reactions, and aftercare, discharging them since symptoms were mild. "Expect possible tummy troubles or blood changes, but they're typically benign," I said. "He should bounce back soon." A follow-up was set for 3 days out, anticipating an uneventful recovery. But as they left, a faint unease gnawed at me. Oliver's gaze lingered on mine, those brown eyes holding a secret I couldn't yet fathom. Little did I know the real horror was just beginning to unfold. That evening, as rain pattered against my office window, I reviewed Oliver's chart again. Something about his eyes nagged at me, too vivid, too watchful. I shook it off as fatigue from back-to-back shifts. Viroclear had been a lifesaver. Why doubt it now? Yet in the quiet hours, I recalled vague rumors from international conferences. Whispers of odd reactions and trials, dismissed as anomalies. Pushing the thought aside, I focused on the science. The drug's mechanism was sound, backed by emergency data. Still, a chill crept in as I wondered if we'd overlooked something in our haste. The next morning, Oliver's parents called to confirm they'd given the first dose without issue. "He took it well, Dr. Harrington," his mother reported, sounding relieved. "No fuss and his fever's dipping a bit." I nodded to myself, logging the update. But as the day wore on, I couldn't shake a growing disquiet. Colleagues chatted about the latest variants, but my mind wandered to Oliver. What if the virus interacted strangely with the antiviral? I decided to dig deeper, scanning recent journals for any pediatric Viroclear updates. Nothing alarming surfaced, just the usual endorsements. By afternoon, another call came. "He's a bit restless," his father said, "but otherwise okay." I advised monitoring and hydration, masking my subtle worry. That night, alone in my flat, I pored over Oliver's intake photos. Those brown eyes stared back from the screen, almost accusing. Sleep evaded me. Dreams flickered with shifting colors and hidden dangers. Was it paranoia or intuition? 18 hours post-discharge, my phone shattered the dawn silence. "Dr. Harrington," Oliver's mother gasped, her tone laced with hysteria. "Something's horribly wrong with his eyes. They're not brown anymore. They're blue, a piercing, unnatural blue." My pulse raced. In all my years, nothing prepared me for this. "That can't be," I stammered, clutching at rationales like tricks of light or exhaustion. "I know my son's eyes," she pleaded. "These aren't his. You have to see this, now." Rushing to the hospital, my mind spun with impossibilities. Eye color doesn't change overnight. Was it a hallucination? A rare genetic fluke? Or something tied to Viroclear? As I awaited their arrival, dread coiled in my gut. What if this was the tip of a darker iceberg? The emergency ward buzzed with morning activity, but my focus narrowed to the door. When Oliver's parents burst in, cradling him protectively, I braced myself. "Show me," I urged, guiding them to an exam room. Unwrapping the blanket, I shone my light and froze. Oliver's eyes, once a rich brown with golden flecks, now blazed a vivid sapphire blue. The shift was absolute, surreal, like a special effect from a film. His pupils constricted normally, no redness or swelling, and he followed my finger flawlessly. Yet those eyes were foreign, unsettling in their intensity. "When exactly did this happen?" I demanded, my voice steadier than I felt. "Around 6:30 this morning," his mother choked out. The sunlight caught his face, and there it was. My husband saw it too. We're not imagining this. I inspected him head to toe, skin unblemished, nails pink, gums healthy. Remarkably, his COVID symptoms had eased. Fever subsided, cough milder. Viroclear was combating the virus, but at what cost? A shiver ran down my spine as Oliver locked gazes with me. Those blue orbs probing, almost knowing. Summoning composure, I documented everything with photos, my hands trembling slightly. "This defies medical logic," I muttered. "Eye color is determined by melanin in the iris, fixed after infancy. Drugs don't alter that, or do they?" Flashes of forgotten case studies haunted me. Rare pigment shifts from obscure medications. But Viroclear? Unheard of. I paged my colleague, Dr. Nora Chambers, a fellow infectious disease specialist. "Amelia, what on earth?" she exclaimed upon seeing Oliver. We huddled over databases, frantically searching for precedents. Zilch on Viroclear and iris changes. Side effects lists reiterated the banal, GI distress, hematologic tweaks. Desperate, I phoned the manufacturer. "No global reports of this," the specialist insisted. "If confirmed, it'd be unprecedented." Unprecedented. The word echoed like a warning. As Oliver cooed softly, his new eyes gleaming, a darker thought emerged. If the drug could rewrite something as fundamental as eye color, what invisible havoc might it wreak elsewhere? In his tiny body? His developing brain? The parents watched me, hope fading, and as the day darkened, I couldn't ignore the creeping fear. What if this change wasn't reversible? Dr. Nora Chambers and I debated fiercely in the consultation room, Oliver's altered eyes staring up from the crib like accusatory jewels. "We have to stop the Viroclear," I insisted. "The timeline points straight to it. Change occurred post-dose." Nora nodded grimly. "Agreed, but his COVID isn't fully cleared. Risky." Yet the alternative terrified us more. Continuing a drug capable of such bizarre alchemy. Breaking the news to the parents was agony. "The medication likely caused this," I explained, watching their faces crumple. "His symptoms are improving, so we'll observe without it." Oliver's father gripped his wife's hand. "Will his eyes revert?" The question hung heavy. "I honestly don't know," I confessed, the admission burning. "This is uncharted territory." They nodded numbly, but fear etched their features. As they left, Oliver's blue gaze followed me, stirring an irrational guilt. That night I barely slept, visions of mutating cells plaguing me. What mechanism could trigger this? Viroclear's replication blockade. Could it interfere with melanin pathways? I scoured obscure pharmacology texts, finding tenuous links to pigment enzymes, but nothing concrete. Morning brought a frantic call. The blue seems deeper, his mother whispered. My heart sank. Was it worsening? Racing back, I examined him. Indeed, the shade intensified, almost electric. Yet Oliver thrived otherwise, no fever, playful even. Paradoxical progress. I enlisted Dr. Catherine Pollard from the Institute's research wing. Incredible, she breathed, snapping images. We need to publish this. But first monitor. Daily checks became ritual, calls, visits, vitals. On day 1 off Viroclear, no shift. Day 2, his mother hesitated on the line. Is it fading, or am I wishing? In person I squinted, yes, a subtle dilution. Hope flickered. But as evening fell, a colleague forwarded a cryptic email. An anonymous tip from abroad about similar anomalies with Viroclear, hushed up. My blood ran cold. Were we pawns in a larger cover-up? Staring at Oliver's photos, the blue eyes seemed to mock me. What secrets did they hold? And if they didn't fully revert, what then? By day 3, without Viroclear, Oliver's COVID symptoms had vanished entirely. No cough, boundless energy. But his eyes remained a haunting blue, though marginally less vibrant. It's changing, his father confirmed during our check-in, voice laced with cautious optimism. I examined closely. Flecks of brown encroached on the edges like ink bleeding back. Relief washed over me, yet tempered by unease. How could a drug induce and reverse such a profound alteration? Dr. Catherine Pollard joined our sessions, theorizing wildly. Perhaps a transient inhibition of tyrosinase, the melanin enzyme, she posited. But why only the irises? And why him? We ran tests. Blood work normal, genetics unremarkable. Oliver's parents clung to every update, their exhaustion palpable. What if it affects his vision long term? His mother fretted. I reassured them, but inwardly, doubts swirled. Subtle changes could lurk undetected, neurological perhaps. That afternoon, as rain lashed London, I delved into global forums. Buried threads hinted at dismissed cases. A child's hair curling unnaturally post-Viroclear in Australia. Taste buds altering in Canada. Coincidences or patterns? An encrypted message arrived from a whistleblower. You're not alone. Check batch numbers, contaminants suspected. My pulse quickened. Oliver's lot matched. Was this sabotage or negligence? Evening brought progress. More brown resurfacing, blue retreating like a tide. It's working, I told the parents, snapping proof. But as they departed, Oliver whimpered softly, his gaze piercing. That night, nightmares gripped me. Eyes shifting endlessly, bodies morphing. Waking in sweat, I wondered. If visible changes reversed, what about the invisible? DNA tweaks? Future risks? Day 4. The transformation accelerated, brown dominating. Joy mixed with dread. Dr. Nora warned, we might have opened Pandora's box. Indeed, as Oliver's original eyes emerged, a chilling report surfaced online, a pediatrician in France claiming permanent shifts in some kids. Suppressed? My phone buzzed with an unknown number. Stop digging, a voice hissed before hanging up. Paranoia or threat? The reversal wasn't complete yet. What if it stalled? 5 days post-discontinuation, Oliver's eyes were nearly restored. Warm brown with those signature golden flecks. It's a miracle, his mother wept during the exam, hugging him close. I smiled, but tension knotted my stomach. Photographs chronicled the eerie journey, day-by-day shifts from sapphire to sepia. Medically fascinating, yet profoundly disturbing. What biochemical sorcery had Viroclear unleashed? With Dr. Nora Chambers and Dr. Catherine Pollard, we drafted our case report for Pediatric Frontiers. This could spark a reevaluation, Catherine enthused. But as we compiled data, international echoes amplified. Emails flooded in. A Delhi doctor describing a green-eyed infant turning gray after Viroclear, reversing slowly. A Spanish colleague noting temporary lightening in brown eyes. All mirrored our timeline. Onset post-dose, fade upon cessation. Often overlooked as illusions. Why weren't these reported? I demanded in a virtual huddle. Fear of backlash, one admitted. Emergency approvals silenced doubts. My unease deepened. If eyes changed, what about subtler effects? Organ functions? Cognitive development? Oliver thrived now, but long-term? His parents asked the same, eyes pleading. If it altered his appearance, what else? I had no reply, only promises of follow-ups. That evening, poring over the whistleblower's tip, I cross-checked batches, anomalies in manufacturing logs, trace impurities. Hacking into secure databases, ethically dubious but desperate, I uncovered redacted files, early trials hinting at pigment disruptions, buried. Heart-pounding, I saved copies, but as midnight struck, my computer glitched, Files vanishing. Virus? Surveillance? Morning brought Oliver for his 2-week check. Eyes fully brown, development on track. "He's perfect," I declared, masking turmoil. Yet as he cooed, a faint blue glint seemed to flicker. Or was it my imagination? Publishing loomed, but threats whispered, anonymous notes warning, "Back off." Who was watching? And as global cases mounted, hair textures shifting in Brazil, nails warping in Japan, what hidden epidemic brewed? The reversal felt too neat. What if it was just the beginning? Our case report hit Pediatric Frontiers in May 2023, titled, "Transient Iris Pigmentation Alteration Post-Viroclear in Pediatric COVID-19, a Novel Adverse Event." The abstract detailed Oliver's saga, backed by photos and timelines. Initial response was muted, colleagues praising the observation. But soon, the floodgates opened. Inboxes overflowed with corroborations. Overlooked eye shifts in Italy, dismissed color changes in the US. Patterns emerged, always reversible, always tied to Viroclear. "Amelia, you've stirred a hornet's nest," Dr. Nora quipped over coffee. Indeed, pharmaceutical reps called, downplaying, isolated incidents, no causality. But data begged otherwise. Parents worldwide reached out, sharing stories of weird vibes post-treatment. Kids more irritable, sleep disrupted. Coincidental or linked? Oliver's family visited monthly, him a bubbly toddler now. "No lingering issues," his father beamed. Yet I scrutinized. Was his gaze sharper? Imagination, surely. That night, reviewing patient files, I spotted anomalies in my own cases. Subtle pupil dilations, glossed over. Had I missed them? A shadowy email arrived. "Deeper than eyes. Check neural pathways." Attached. Leaked animal studies showing Viroclear binding to brain receptors, altering pigments and behaviors. Mice exhibited erratic patterns post-exposure. Human implications? Chilling. I forwarded to Catherine, but her reply bounced. Account suspended? Paranoia escalated. As media picked up our report, backlash brewed. Online trolls accused fabrication. Regulators demanded retractions. "Pressure from above," a source confided. During a late call, Oliver's mother whispered, "He's having nightmares, screaming about blue monsters." Coincidence? My sleep fractured too. Dreams of eyes multiplying, watching. Hospital protocols shifted. Viroclear warnings added. But globally, stagnant. More reports trickled. Taste aversions in Mexico, scent sensitivities in Germany. What web connected them? As I dug, a break-in at my office. Files rifled, nothing stolen, but a note. "Eyes are windows. Don't look too deep." Heart racing, I wondered. Was Oliver's change a warning? And if so, for what catastrophe ahead? Months post-publication, the ripple effects intensified. Support groups formed online. Viroclear victims, parents sharing tales of post-treatment quirks, kids with sudden food phobias, erratic moods. Oliver's mother joined, reporting his newfound aversion to bright lights. "Like his eyes, remember," she said. Tests showed nothing, but doubt festered. I collaborated with international teams, pooling data, patterns. Changes peaked in infants, reversing in days, but echoes lingered. EEGs hinted at subtle neural shifts in some. Epigenetic tweaks? Dr. Catherine speculated during a tense Zoom. The drug might rewrite gene expression temporarily. Terrifying prospect. Visible eyes as harbingers of invisible rewiring. Personal toll mounted. Sleepless nights reviewing old photos, spotting missed hints. A patient's hair subtly straighter, nails oddly brittle. Guilt gnawed. How many had I endangered? An anonymous package arrived. Redacted docs revealing Viroclear's rush trials skipped long-term pediatric arms. "Profits over proof," scrawled on top. Oliver turned one, eyes steadfast brown. But during his check, he fixated on my penlight, whispering blue incoherently. Toddler babble or memory? His parents dismissed it, but I shuddered. That evening, hacking attempts on my system. Firewalls held, barely. "They're covering tracks," Nora warned. Global anomalies escalated. Brazilian kids with curly hair straightening post-dose. Japanese reports of accelerated nail growth. Dismissed as unrelated, but stats aligned. A leaked memo surfaced. Manufacturer knew of pigment risks, minimized them. Lawsuits brewed. In solitude, I pondered Oliver's legacy. His case exposed cracks in pandemic pharmacology, but as threats escalated, a slashed tire, watchful shadows. What price for truth? A midnight call. Dr. Harrington, Oliver's eyes, flickering blue in dreams. No, she meant nightmares. Yet fear gripped. Was reversal incomplete? Hidden triggers waiting? The puzzle deepened, shadows lengthening. A year on, Oliver embodied normalcy, playful, articulate for his age. Yet his case haunted conferences, sparking debates on emergency drug approvals. We gambled with generations, I argued in panels, facing pushback from big pharma allies. Back home, St. Mary's tightened scrutiny, but nationally? Lip service docked, private investigations uncovered more. Viroclear's active ingredient mimicked melanin disruptors in lab tests, buried data. Intentional oversight? Catherine queried. We published addendums, but retractions loomed under pressure. Personal surveillance felt real, followed footsteps, tapped lines. Oliver's family thrived, but subtle shifts persisted. He avoided mirrors, claiming eyes watch back. Psychological? Or residue? During a visit, he drew scribbles, blue circles dominating. Monsters, he lisped. Chills ensued, global cascade, class actions filed, regulators probing. Stories poured. Australian skin tone shifts, Canadian olfactory changes. All post-Viroclear, all downplayed. A insider confessed. Trials fudged for speed. Proof mounted, but dangers too. Colleagues silenced, careers torpedoed. Nights blurred with research, dreams of Oliver's eyes multiplying, accusing. What else? His mother's question echoed. Indeed, if viruses altered, what of hearts, minds? Long-term studies lagged, kids aging into unknowns. A breakthrough email, batch contaminants confirmed, trace metals amplifying effects, cover-up unraveled. But as I prepared testimony, a crash outside, targeted, paranoia peaked. Oliver's latest check, perfect health, yet his gaze held depths, secrets. The legacy? Fractured trust. Every script now hesitated, shadowed by blue. As anomalies surfaced anew, a child's voice deepening oddly. What chain reaction had we ignited? The end seemed near, but whispers hinted, deeper mutations brewing, silent and sinister. 2 years later, the Viroclear scandal dominated headlines, recalls, settlements, reforms. Our report catalyzed it, earning accolades amid threats. Oliver, now a vibrant toddler, showed no scars. Eyes brown, spirit unbroken. Yet his parents monitored obsessively, as did I. Lessons etched deep. Pandemic haste-birthed monsters. Subtle effects emerged. Cohort studies revealing minor cognitive quirks in exposed kids. Enhanced focus, but mood volatility. Oliver exhibited it, preternaturally attentive, occasional tantrums, linked, debated. Personally, I transformed, advocating stricter trials, scrutinizing every med. Colleagues joined, forming watchdogs. But shadows lingered, unsolved cases, vanished whistleblowers. Was it over? During Oliver's final check, he hugged me, eyes sparkling. Thank you, his mother said. Relief, but undercurrents. Sometimes in light they shimmer blue. Illusion or remnant? Nights still haunt. What unseen changes persist? In genomes? Societies? Viroclear taught vigilance. Science's edge cuts both ways. As new threats loom, I wonder, next time will we see the blue before it's too late? But in quiet moments, Oliver's photo reminds. Some mysteries resolve, others lurk. And as a faint report crosses my desk, adult eye shifts resurfacing. What if the cycle restarts? The eyes watch, waiting.